Hello everyone, welcome back again today to another Money Talk lesson. We're still putting together the series. We're calling it Kingdom Wealth Management. And recently we've been dealing with the topic that your prosperity is proportional to several different things. For example, we talked about your prosperity is proportional to your belief system. If you don't believe you'll prosper, you won't prosper. Last time, prosperity is proportional to your discerning, your ability to recognize and discern a harvest when it's there, discern a good investment from a bad investment. Today, we're taking this a bit further and we're talking about prosperity. And please remember that we're not talking about comparing ourselves. We're not talking about having stuff. We're not talking about looking at ourselves like we are prideful or arrogant, but it's having much more than enough to fulfill our assignment with enough left over to help others fulfill their assignment. So kingdom prosperity is not a selfish thing, it's a kingdom thing. So here we go. This is number 3. Prosperity is proportional to your knowledge. You've probably heard this statement, knowledge is king. Well, I don't know if that's necessarily a kingdom statement, but it could be. Because Hosea chapter 4 verse 6 says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because you have rejected knowledge, I reject you from being a priest to me. And since you have forgotten the law of the Lord your God, I will also forget your children." I looked up in one of the commentaries recently and it said this: the people had rejected the opportunity to know God, and that lack of personal relationship was destroying them. They had no acceptable excuse because the knowledge of God had certainly been available, but they were willfully rejecting and ignoring the truth that was available to them. In this area of kingdom wealth management, there is a huge shortage of knowledge, particularly financial knowledge, knowledge about money, especially among Christians. And I believe that much of it is willful ignorance. Many Christians, in fact, probably most Christians, are willfully ignorant about financial matters. For example, you've probably heard, and there's popular Christian ministries that say, well, all debt is bad, debt is bad, debt is bad. Well, not always. Consumer debt is bad, but leverage debt is not necessarily bad. Or have you ever heard about your Starbucks factor? Now, don't be a hater on me because I love coffee too. But the Starbucks factor is money that you spend every day on something that gives you very little of any lasting benefit. A lot of people, if they would just be aware of their Starbucks factor, their budget would all of a sudden have a great boost. Or another thing that most people probably never stop to think about is the simple facts about compound interest. For example, how much interest you pay at the beginning of a loan, or how long it would take to double your money if you invested it in compound interest. So we could go on, and this sounds very practical, and it is. God expects us to be wise. He expects us to be knowledgeable because our level of prosperity will be in proportion to our level of knowledge. Now, I want to close with this just for a moment. In Luke 16:8, Jesus did something very interesting. He commended a person that was dishonest. This is the story of the dishonest manager. Now that sounds like an oxymoron. Jesus didn't commend him for his dishonesty, obviously, but he commended him for his shrewdness, his knowledge in knowing how to manage money for the relationships with other people. This manager called in all the people that owed his master money. And he voluntarily took it upon himself to lower the amount that they owed. He said, if you owe the master 100 measures of oil, just mark it out to 50. If you owe the master 100 measures of wheat, just make it out to 80. And then chapter 16 verse 8 says, the master commended the dishonest servant, not for his dishonesty, of course, but for his shrewdness. And then he said this: for the sons of this world are more shrewd in dealing with their own generation than the sons of light. That's very insightful. The master is commending them for their knowledge about finances, not their deception, not their dishonesty, but their ability to use their knowledge for a financial benefit. And then verse 9 says this: I tell you, Make friends for yourselves by means of unrighteous wealth, so that when it fails, what's going to fail? Unrighteous wealth will fail. If you're trusting in finances, it's going to fail. I know that we don't teach that money is the root of all evil. The love of money is the root of all evil, but trusting in riches will certainly lead to failure. So he says, make friends so that when the money fails you, you may receive an eternal dwelling. Use money, use resources in a righteous manner to influence people. So the ultimate wisdom here, I think, could be boiled down to this: love people and use money. Don't love money and use people. Your level of prosperity will always be in proportion to your knowledge. So learn, grow, ask questions. The more you know, the more God will commend you for having knowledge that can be useful for the benefit of the kingdom.